Welcome to Small Biz Mama, episode 20, the one mindset shift that changed my life. Doesn't that just sound like, oh, okay. Wait, I gotta listen. Hey guys, welcome to Confessions of the Small Biz Mama. My name is Kristen Ingram, and today I want to talk to you about the one mindset shift that changed everything for me. If you're new to the show, you probably don't know that when I was 26 years old, 14 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. Most of you, even people who have known me for a while, don't know, 25-year-old Kristen. 25-year-old Kristen was a type A, incredibly wound up, stressed about everything sort of person. And my oncologist believed that actually contributed to the type of cancer that I had, because the type of cancer that I had is very prevalent in people who are type A personality. Now, the thing that's kind of interesting is that I actually have a half sister who had the same type of cancer at the same age. So who knows? But I think that if you've had some sort of major medical crisis in your life or a near-death experience, something that like really rocked your world, what happens with many people is they have this mindset shift. And I hate that it takes something like that for a lot of us to have this like epiphany moment. Okay, so what is that epiphany moment? The epiphany moment is when you realize that all of that small crap that gets you all tangled up in knots, that makes you worry and flares up your anxiety and makes you fight with your spouse and makes you yell at your kids, it's just not important. The little crap is not that important. Okay. And it's funny because in life, I think what happens a lot of times, is we let the small bad things, right, control everything that we're feeling and the lens that we see things through. And the small good things, we're like, oh, those are too small, and we ignore them. So I think it's really interesting when I look at perspective. I think, okay, when I'm looking at the things that would drive me crazy, and don't get me wrong, okay, so this is not like an instant switch for me, right? So I'm like, oh, I went through cancer and poof, and now I don't worry about the small things anymore. It's something I really have to work at a lot. Okay, it's something that I have to check myself constantly. The thing that having cancer did is that it made me realize that I have to check these things and leave them at the door. So, for example, I used to get really upset, like if Jeff left like clothes on the floor on his side of the bed. Now, the way our bedroom is arranged, right? So when you walk into our bedroom, it's, I see my side of the bed, I see my nightstand, I see my bathroom, or I see our bathroom, I see our closet. And then I can't even see the stuff that may be on the floor on Jeff's side of the bed, because the way our bedroom is arranged, I just can't. I can't see. But like if I go over there for some reason, like say like, I'm whatever reason, I would get like so angry, be like, how can he have socks on the floor? Ah! And then I sat there one day and I'm like, why does this bother me? I don't know why I care. I can't even see what's on the floor over there. Why does, and the thing I did is I said, you know what, if I'm doing laundry, which he does most of the laundry now, which is pretty awesome. I'm not going to go over there. Like it doesn't make, I'll just, whatever's in the hamper is what gets washed. And that's that's my stuff and that's his stuff. And that's the approach that I took. But I remember when I used to get, because Jeff and I have been together forever, right? So Jeff and I got married when I was 21. So by the time I was diagnosed with cancer, we had been together, we'd been married for 5 years. And so, I remember I just used to get so angry about like little things. And even now, right? If I'm having a bad day, if I'm really stressed out, and I'll feel that like coming up and I'm like, okay, Kristen, like, is this a big thing or a small thing? Like, where do we rank this, scale of 1 to 10, where does this fit in stuff that should piss me off? That has real meaning and, is, so if you kind of think like, 0 to 10, with 10 being, societal injustice, okay? Or, a friend of mine, being gravely ill, like, or a family member being gravely ill, like that's 10 for me, okay? So scale of 0 to 10, socks on the floor, probably a 1, right? So when you kind of put things into perspective, you just have to check sometimes, right? To say, is this something? Now, so how do you do that? Okay, how do you make that shift? So a couple things that have really worked well for me. So I do a lot of different practices, okay? I meditate almost every single morning. I use an app called 10% Happier, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes at smallbizmama.com. And first thing when I wake up, I do this meditation that is on your greatest intentions. So what do you want for yourself? What do you want for your family? What do you want for the world? And the cool thing with that app is that you can take the same meditation and do it in different lengths. So you can do it 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and 10 minutes, I think. And so I love that I can do that, right? So like literally my alarm goes off, I grab my phone, I put in one of my earbuds, and I put on this meditation, okay? That's one thing that really helps because it kind of gives me some perspective. So what do I want for me? What do I want for my family? And what do I want for the world? And usually like what, I want for my family and for myself is, I want everyone to be healthy. I pray for, curing, of various, illnesses that might be plaguing people I know. I want people to be free from worry and anxiety, especially right now. One of the things I always ask for me is I ask that I don't let the small things bother me. Because I just know that it's like a cascade for me. And so that's something that I ask for every single morning. So meditation is really important for me. And the reason why, so if you don't currently meditate, the reason for me that meditation is important is because it taught me a lot about breathing. and it taught me a lot about how to calm myself down, right? So the second thing that I do is I see myself getting wound up, right? And so when I see myself getting wound up and I'm starting to stress about all those little small things, so I had a couple of years ago now, it was about 2 years ago now. I had my heart started racing. I had a tachycardia. And I couldn't get it to stop. I couldn't get it under control. And I actually ended up in the hospital, and they diagnosed me with a cardiomyopathy. And thank God, I've exercised a lot, and I've been taking care of myself, and my heart has actually like repaired itself. So that's really like no longer an issue that I have. And I still have a cardiologist, and we're still watching it, and I'm on medication and stuff like that. But I've done a lot of work, right, to get my heart back functioning normally, or what's considered normally. So that's pretty awesome. But so if you've ever kind of had like an anxiety attack, or you've had your heart race, you can feel it building, right? And the same thing happens when we get upset. It's typically, for a lot of us, we don't go from like 0 to upset, right? It's not like a thing. What happens, it kind of builds up, and I feel it now, right? So it's like, oh, I see this, and oh, the living room's a mess, and there's peanut butter on the wall, and you moms, this, right? And so, and you feel it, and it churns, and you feel it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and so you feel like you're going to explode, right? And so what I've been able to do is I feel it, right? I can probably feel it when it gets to about a 3 or a 4, right? Instead of like 10, where 10 is where I'm going to explode. So when I can feel it, and I go, okay, Kristen, all right. And I take a couple deep breaths. Okay. And I just kind of check in, and I'm like, okay, are these small things, right? Or is this something? And it's funny because sometimes I've checked in, like I've gotten bad news from a friend or a family member, and I can feel it building, and I'm like, okay, no, this is a big thing. Like, you need to feel this out, right? But when it's the small stuff, you're like, these are small things. Time to let them go. Okay, so let yourself feel the big things, let the small things go. And so that has really, really helped me to kind of, the meditation and the acknowledgement, right, have really helped me be able to scale it down. But it's funny because I could not do the acknowledgement and the scaling before I did the meditation. It was kind of weird. So the other thing that I think is really important is to do some mind work, right? And so I've got 3 books, and I'm going to put the links in the show notes to these 3 books. And you can pick, you don't have to read all 3. I pick the one that resonates with you. So the first one is Jennifer Allwood's Fear Is Not the Boss of Me. And I love this book because she really like tackles fear just kind of head on. Now, Jennifer Allwood, if you don't know who she is a believer. She talks about God in the book. I think, for me, as someone who's trying to figure out what I believe and what's going on with my faith, and I liked it. I really, really liked it. I liked the approach that she took. I liked it. I thought it was a great book, and it really made me kind of look at some of my thought processes a little bit. So I'd invite you to check that one out. If you want something that is that's less God focused, I then I would check out Jen Sincero's book, You Are a Badass. And remember, I've read both of these, right? So I know like some of you, you might not like some of the language in Jen's book. You might find the title offensive. I would check out Jennifer Allwood's book. And then another, and Jen's book is just literally like you read it and you're like, bah, I'm going to take on the world. Right. So I really like that. And there's a lot of mind work stuff in there that you have to do. And then the third book that I really like is Brendan Burchard's Life's Golden Ticket. Now, this is actually a novel, right? So a very, very short read, but it's a good story. And it makes you think about, it really makes you think about the stuff that is working in your head, right? And how that's impacting your life and how you make decisions. So I really like those three books. I'll put the link to them in the show notes for this episode. And I'm also going to put a link to a free Audible trial. One thing that's really helping me out a lot is actually listening to audiobooks. And that's how I'm getting through books right now. Because for me, it's almost impossible for me to sit down and open up a book and read and actually like stay focused for more than like 5 minutes. So I find like audiobooks, I can listen to them, sometimes in the shower, when I'm going for a walk. If I'm making dinner, I might put one earbud in and kind of listen in. So that's been really helpful for me. Okay. So the one mindset shift that changed my life is letting go of the small things. And if you can learn how to do that, that will make a huge impact in all the aspects of your life. So I hope you found this episode helpful. Let me know in the comments or on social media how you're letting go of the small things. Because truly it is an amazing thing when you can learn to do that. It will change your life. It will change your relationships, and it will change your business. So, mamas, I love you so much. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you liked it, please make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you tell someone else about this show. If you know someone who needs to learn how to let the small things go, share this episode with them. You go to smallbizmama.com. We make it really easy to share. Thank you so much for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. I will talk to you all soon. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Small Biz Mama with Kristen Ingram. If you'd like to learn how to create more margin in your life, please visit us at smallbizmama.com. That's smallbizmama.com.